All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the April 18th version of Topical Tuesday. Today, we're talking about collection development plans. Don't worry about signing in. I get a report. Please keep your microphone muted, except when I ask you to unmute and ask a question. If you want to follow along with the presentation on your own computers, this is the link to the presentation. I will send it out with the recording. So it's bit.ly/FY24CD presentation. Went too fast. I will copy that for you and put that in the chat. That way you have it. And then I will put the link to the template in as well. All right. Just go ahead and click. So we're going to be talking about writing our collection development plans, our new template, and then we'll get to questions. Let me get over here. And here's today's presentation. All right, we're going to talk about writing a collection development plan. I tried a new tool. It's called Genially, and I really like the way it works. Works almost like a web page. You've got your table of contents, and I'm just going to go down through everything. When we talk about collection development,
Lisa,
yes,
you're not presenting anything.
I thought I switched. Thanks. Hang on. Hit the wrong thing. There we go. All right, so when we talk about building up our collection, to build up a library is to create a life. It's never just a random collection of books. And if we don't have a plan, our libraries will be just that, a random collection of books. Why do we bother with this? It sets the vision and a purpose for your program. It makes your decision-making process clear to all stakeholders. It shows the connection between the library program and the school community. It shows the deliberate process that leads to a high quality collection. It makes solving problems and answering difficult questions fair and easy. And it connects your school media center to school district policy and to state statute. The beginning part of your collection development plan is your purpose statement. This section is going to clarify that the plan guides the decisions you make in the library. I've given you some examples, right? You can always click on the examples, and I gave you some exemplar plans from last year to take a look at. Not every plan is perfect for every section, so I tried to highlight good sections from plans as I go through the parts of our collection development plan. Our background statement and school community, you're going to use the gold report. And in this section, you're going to describe the community. So here's a nice example of that. This is from Suncoast High Schools. If you need the link to the gold plan, just email me. I will send that out. Your mission statements. You should have your school and your media center mission statements. You need both. If you don't have a media center mission statement, you need to write one. Think about what is the mission of your media center, and everybody's mission is different, so everybody's mission statement should look different. You're going to describe your library program, right? In general terms. Are you on a fine arts wheel? Do you have a flexible schedule? Are you on a combination of fixed and flexible? Are you the teacher of record for a regular class in high school or middle school? talk about any special initiatives through the library, and talk about the instruction that takes place. And here's your example. Right? So you can see I've tried to highlight great examples of each section so you have that for reference. Your goals and objectives. You need at least 3 SMART goals. Your SMART goals they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Do not set a goal that is completely unachievable. I'm not saying you shouldn't reach, but make one that's achievable. Right? Just check out that chart when you're doing it. There's some definitions on how to write SMART goals. And here's some SMART goal examples. I like this one: to increase participation in FTR titles with the goal of FTR Find Your 3. Implement Read 3, Read 5, goals and incentives. Increase advertising of titles by highlighting 1 to 2 titles per month via student communication channels. And then action step 3, increase your battle of the books and your FTR voting participation. Your SMART goals need to have objectives, right? You need to create your goals and your objectives. How are you going to achieve those SMART goals? Your budgeting and funding. You're going to put your FY23 budget, and you're going to use your projected budget for FY24. You're going to also describe your purchasing plan for FY24. This is going to become much more obvious when we go through the annotated template for you. The next 2 sections are the scope of the collection and your collection development. They are similar, but they are 2 separate sections, right? Here's your scope. And this describes what collection development is. I've given you a definition. Please put it into your own words. You're going to talk about your selection and evaluation criteria. You're going to write a paragraph on what criteria you personally use and the reviewing tools you plan to utilize. And then you're going to tie it to school board policy. Okay. New this year, we're going to have a collection analysis infographic. This is in the template. This is an example. This is Atlantic High Schools, and I can show you another one as well. You can see that Atlantic High School has 6,028 titles. They have an average age of 2012. They have 2.4 items per student. High school requirements and elementary school requirements are quite different, so don't be worried about that. But all of the information that you need for your collection analysis graphic is going to be on this title-wise analysis, okay? We're going to also do a collection analysis by category. You're going to use your title-wise analysis to help you fill out this section. It is a breakdown of the books by the Dewey category. This is going to tell you how many titles you have in each category and the average age of the category. It's going to inform your reading and purchasing priorities for the coming year. All right. April, I don't understand what data is available for sorting out projected budget. You're just going to have to project what you think will be your budget next year. It's a guess. Stephanie, I see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just want to, I said it last week and I'll say it again. When you're looking at the title-wise analysis portion, the diversity part, it's not automatically, you got to remember, you go into your SEL titles and then you have to turn it on to see the diversity section of your library. It'll say get started with the diversity part. It's not going to be automatic right when you run it. You're going to see it on the main sheet. So you got to make sure you go into your settings and you turn it on for all your sections.
All right. I'll go back. So this will be an example of analysis by category. You're going to need to do that. And here we have our directions on how to create a title-wise analysis if you need to do that. Your gifts and donations. You do not have to take every single gift or donation that is given to your library, but you get to say what you're going to do with those gifts and donations. You're going to speak to the fact that all gifts and donations have to adhere to our board policy and that you won't put out of date or age inappropriate books into your collection. And here's a good example of that section. We're going to talk about collection maintenance and our strategic focus. You're going to need to reference that inventory is completed on a 3-year rotation as per board policy 8.12. And you're going to use the information you gain from your collection analysis to describe your weeding and acquisition priorities over a 3-year period. This section helps keep you focused on constantly improving your collection through weeding and acquisitions. This is a good example of that section. Okay. You all have access to this that you can take a look at those things. You do need to inventory 1/3 of your collection every single year. Some year and delete your lost. Your reconsideration of materials. You're going to talk a little bit about the fact that we have a challenge policy, and you're going to reference policy 8.1205. That's in the appendices. And speaking of appendices, in this year's template, I have put in all of the appendices. You do not need to add them. They are simply there for you to do. Just print it. All right. Each year. Now, most of you wrote your plans last year, or there's a plan for your library. You do not need to update every section every year. There are 5 sections that need to be updated every year. Your goals and objectives, your inventory cycles, your weeding cycle, your budget, and your title and signature. You may want to take a look at some of your other sections and update them, but these are the 5 that need to be updated every single year. And before I go switch over to the annotated tool for us, I just want to leave you with a couple of quotes. Neil Gaiman, I think, has one of the best. Librarians are the coolest people out there doing the hardest job out there on the front lines. And every time I get to encounter or work with librarians, I'm always impressed by their sheer awesomeness. And I also like this one by Vicki Myron, who wrote Dewey, the Small Town Library Cat. A great library doesn't have to be big or beautiful. It doesn't have to have the best facilities or the most efficient staff or the most users. A great library provides. It is enmeshed in the life of a community in a way that makes it indispensable. A great library is one nobody notices because it is always there and always has what people need. All right? So that is the directions on how to write a collection development policy. I'm going to share this year's annotated collection development template. We've changed quite a bit, so I want to take you through it. You do not have to rewrite your policy from last year. You can copy and paste in the sections that don't change. But one of the biggest things we were asked for was a title page and a signature page. So we've added that this year. There is a place for you to sign and a place for your principal to sign. We had a lot of questions last year where that would go. We added that page this year. There is a table of contents. I have linked all of these things right to their section, but please put in the correct page number. So if somebody doesn't want to click on it, or if they're not using a PDF that's clickable, they can get to the correct page number. It starts with your purpose and then your background. The gold report is linked from here. Anything that is in red has to be changed. Anything in black stays. Anything in red needs to be changed. So these are all the sections that we went over. We've moved our goals and objectives out of the appendix. We've put it in the main section of our policy. So here are your here's where your 3 SMART goals will go. Each SMART goal should have objectives, a minimum of 2 on how you're going to achieve it. You're going to talk about your budgeting and funding. Put in your FY23 budget and take a guess as to what your FY24 budget will be. It will be fairly similar to this year's. They don't change all that much. Okay, just making sure. Thanks, Stephanie, for getting to the questions. All right, you're going to lay out your purchasing plan for 23-24. What are your priorities and about how much do you expect to spend on each of those priorities? These are just some examples. Okay, again, anything in red needs to be taken out. The scope of the collection, your collection development statement, your selection and evaluation criteria. Do not delete these district-wide procedures. They are required to be in there. Like I said, anything in black stays. Sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy. It was going too fast. This is new this year, your collection analysis infographic. You're going to use Tidal Wave to fill in this infographic. How many items are in your collection? How many items per student? What is your percentage of fiction to nonfiction? The average age of your collection, your age titles, your titles that are newer than 5 years old, your diverse titles, and your SLL titles. I will show you where to find this on your Tidal Wave analysis. And as Stephanie said, you have to turn those on. And then you're going to take a look at each category, right? And your average year. This is going to help you figure out, where do you need to weed? Where do you need to add titles? I know we've added some things to the policy, but we've also given you a way to improve your collection along with it. If you copy and paste something in the red, it shouldn't stay red. And if it does, you just change the color, Michelle. Your gifts and donations section. I added a section on collection maintenance. In years past, we asked for a reading schedule. This year, we're asking for your selection priorities and your reading priorities. You're going to strategically take a look at your collection. It's going to help improve everyone's libraries. Talk about your reconsideration of materials. And then right here, as you can see, all of the appendixes are part of this template. All right, I'm going to switch over to TitleWise. All right, here you can see my old school, Seminole Trails Elementary. There is clearly something wrong going on with their collection right now. It says there are only 123 items in their collection. That is something that they need to address via inventory. It says it is 74% fiction and 26% nonfiction. The reason the fiction is so high is that we have, if you drill down in, you can see we've added all of the E to fiction. But something's really going on. See, it says only 91 in their collection. There's definitely something that is going on with this that they need to fix. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a different title-wise analysis.
Lisa, you were just looking at the digital and ebooks tab. You got to go to school library collection.
Hang on, let me get back there. There we go. That's much better. Didn't realize I was on the wrong tab. We have 14,000 items. That's much better. Their average age is 2008, and their items per student is 15.6. They're 48% fiction, 35% nonfiction. This right here is the biography, is my guess. Now, I've had a lot of questions about how do you find out how many graphic novels you have. You're going to click here where it says dig into the Dewey divisions by tens. You're going to scroll down to your sevens. And your 740s is going to give you how many books you have. Okay? That's where you're going to find it. They have 33% age titles. They definitely need to be looking at some reading. And only 6% of their collection is from 2018 and newer. A lot needs to be done here. But as I scroll down, you can see that 36% of the collection is diverse titles. It's been enabled here. The average age is 2006. There are 6,034 social and emotional learning, which we call SLL, schools for learning, skills for learning in life. It is 41% of their collection, and the average age is 2007. I went through a lot of information pretty quickly. I want to pause now here for questions. Amy, what's an appropriate number for the items per student? I would shoot for about 10 in an elementary school. 10 to 11 is a good number of items per student. Elementary school circulation is much, much greater than those at the middle and the high school. Any other questions we can answer? You could go ahead and unmute and answer and ask away.
Lisa, it's me. I still
Yep.
don't see where you enable the SEL.
Because it was already enabled on this.
I think
When
you have to go to the SEL titles by topic. Click on that little link and then you'll get.
You should see some green writing when you go to your title-wise analysis. And it says, do you want to enable this?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you can enable it.
Okay.
It's a great way to look at your diverse titles. It'll help you with that diversity audit, looking at, are you representing everybody in your school? And of course, we want those titles that are SLL. The average age for the graphic novels is also going to be in where you drill down into the, over here, the Dewey divisions. By tens. I'm going to click on the 740s. I can see what I have. But right here, you can see in the 740, the average age is 2013. And the bulk of your 740s are going to be graphic novels. That's true. If you get lost in your title-wise analysis, you can call Stephanie for help, or you can call Follett, and they will walk you through it. But we are ready, willing, and able to help you with those title-wise analysis at Library Media. Any other questions we can answer?
How are we getting the link to this, the information that you have?
To which information?
Like, where we're going to be changing the red versus the black.
So it was there's a link to it in the bulletin that was released in March. And I'm going to be sending out the link to the presentation as well as a link to make a copy of the template
Okay, excellent. Thanks.
and this recording.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. So we are winding down our year. If you have not joined Emma, please think about joining them. If not this year, next year. They are truly advocating for you. They did a wonderful job with the visit with Mr. Tierney and Mr. Burke, and they have heard your concerns and they are working hard to ease your life next year with all of your new added responsibilities. And a big thank you to Emma for that advocacy work. Again, tag us on social media. They are paying attention. They truly are. If you need points, this course is worth 20 points. It's one simple follow-up activity. And you can watch any and all of the videos to gain points. You did not have to watch live. Our next session is to be determined, and it will be our last session. It will be on May 2nd. So we are looking forward to that. We have an idea of what it will be, but we are not quite ready to share yet. And with that, I'm going to say have a great afternoon. Good luck with your collection development plans. If you need help, please reach out to me and Stephanie. We are really happy to help. We're always here for you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.